Welcome to Rauta's Underground Trio episode. This time we have three different bands from three different parts of the world. We have a Polish band tapping into the world of death metal with a little bit of black metal in the mix, thinking of Behemoth and all that stuff. We have one band that is more on the death doom side of things, and then we have one non-metallic ones. And these albums are according to my own personal preference, so worst to best. Take it as you will, but obviously you should be picking the ones that interest you in genre-wise and beyond. First, we'll go to Poland with a band called Pandrador. If I recall correctly, this is their second album. First or second album nonetheless. And actually, this might be the first one. I am just thinking because I don't always remember. And okay, let's not break it. So here we have this walnut symbol, and since the album is Seiðr, this is definitely tapping into the Nordic region of things, so one could only wonder why a Polish band would rather be singing about Viking stories and whatnot, but sometimes we get very much enthralled and all that into things that are not necessarily very deep into our personal culture, not pretending to know what these guys are known of, but this is all saying, yeah, we are coming from Norway, Denmark, Sweden, even a little bit Finland or Iceland. But no, this one is from Poland. And the thing here is, these are playing the style in a death metal way. So kind of a modern death metal way, mind you, a little bit of black metal in the mix, and this overall reminds me of Behemoth. And I'm not the only one thinking about that. I was reading my colleagues' review while I was spinning this and making my own notes, and I was kind of amused that a lot of same notes were mentioned there. And indeed, if you are into Behemoth kind of black death stuff, I mean, Behemoth obviously has quite a few eras during their career, but talking about the black death era, this is something that you might be interested in. However, where this album fails, in my opinion, is the kind of overall catchiness and being very powerful and being somewhat original. Now it seems more like it's a Behemoth worship band. Nicely executed, nicely produced. I mean, there's nothing wrong with production, vocals, whatever, or these band photos. I think they have their own style when it comes to outside music. But when you're just taking like a Behemoth kind of approach from death black metal combination and putting that into some kind of Nordic Viking filter, and then just giving it this kind of style where these masks and all that remind me of Meforash from Sweden, I think it's kind of a weird mess. Kind of like salad where you're like, okay, I kind of like these individual ingredients, but they don't make that much of a sense as whole. This is kind of a decent of an album, but still, in my opinion, way too much in the demo phase in order to actually deliver something very powerful. Easy to listen to, but way too easy also to forget all about it. Decent, potent band, but not there yet. Then we have this album by Unformulas, kind of a funny name because this is me, a Finnish person talking about Formula 1. When I see Unformulas like that, on car? No, jokes aside, this one, Postmodern Visionary, is a combination of death and doom. It's very dark in that sense, which kind of comes with the territory, and the style is heavy indeed, heavy and dark. That's pretty much the basic thing what's going on here. And you will find growlier vocals, you will find a death doom kind of a typical approach when it comes to the production. So everything is check here. Nothing wrong with that as such, and I think this is mostly nailing the right pieces on the board and saying, yeah, we can do death doom the proper way and there is nothing to apologize for. That is very true in my opinion. However, I would say there are better bands to give you a little bit of, hints of what's going on in the genre. Like, there are these leaders, and then there are followers, and then there are the bad ones. This goes to the follower department, like figuring out what the big bands, the leaders, the veterans, the pioneers have done with the genre. I mean, putting the right pieces in the mix and creating the combination of what we know as death doom. So can't really bitch about it. Unformulas is not doing exactly anything wrong. but they could be a lot better in order to like more memorable songs. I know it's very, very challenging when you're trying to do both doom and death metal at the same time. You're not exactly leaning towards the faster parts of death metal. You're not exactly leaning towards the more epic doom kind of a vocals, but trying to combine world that was never meant to be together. I know, there are lots of people now, raising up their hand and saying like, hey, what about My Dying Bride? Yes, they got it. They went very gothic. Or Winter from United States, where they just combined extremely crushing atmosphere with death metallic parts, yet going with the doom tempo. Now, where Unformulas is failing is they don't have the originality as, for example, these given examples. So kind of a good, but also kind of like missing the point, or more like unable to do it in a captivating way. I'm even thinking about some old school death metal ones which were like very mid-tempo or slow tempo. Think about Morbid Angel. Yeah, you got it. Now, still, that being said, however, I think Unformulas have something interesting stirring up, so check it out if you are up for doom death metal. And the best of the pile today is a non-metal one, Patient Omega, Broken Mind in a Rotting Body, and has a very, very interesting cover art here. Beautiful woman, naked, meeting a skeleton. A weird date. Indeed. Now, this name sounds like a very, very dark music is about to approach you, and it's kind of a true, but then again, it could be a lot darker. So this is mainly a dark ambient one, but there's a synth wave or kind of a dark wave approach to it, which makes this less dark ambient-like than a lot of those bands that have been doing the kind of music. I'm really talking about acts like Lustmord, Innate, Kerovnian, a lot of those bands that are super, super dark or haunting, or even like Sleep Researcher Facility, which is very, very much Joni experience. Now, this goes and touches some of those parts mentioned here in a nice way. And this goes very much as a background music, but not in a bad way. However, when this goes more into the spoken parts and a little bit synthwave approach kind of a thing with the dark wave angle, then it kind of gets too mellow in a way. I mean, it's not exactly happy music, but something that could be a lot more darker and more just evil sounding in general. And now my phone is trying to ruin this whole thing here. All I'm saying is this is actually pretty interesting if you're looking for some dark music, but you're not ready to go exploring the deeper, darker parts of minimal dark ambient. Pretty cool, in my opinion, the best of the pile. So we have 3 different albums of 3 different styles. Pick the ones that you think are mostly for you, and you will find links provided in the description box. Thanks for checking out these albums with me. Enjoy. Bye bye.